Alright, we just bought this really rare Russian bike. I've never seen one like it before in the US. I've never seen one posted for sale like it. So I thought it was a pretty cool find. So I got this thing for 1,800 bucks. It was up for 25. Guy came down to 18. I'm not sure on the year. I think it's 1960s or 70s. They made these from 1950 to 1990. These were produced by the Soviet Union. You can see made in USSR. And they went out of production when the Soviet Union broke up and it became Russia. So, very unique bike. These were produced for the military and they were built pretty good. It's all steel, comes with the sidecar as well, which I know of a little dog that will like that. But thing is pretty sweet looking. So I think for 1,800 bucks we did pretty good. And check this out. Comes with the toolkit. It's like a little suitcase that pops open. And this is the original toolkit. You can see made in USSR. So I thought that was pretty unique. Extra plug here. Couple spokes. So that was pretty cool. Apparently this bike has been sitting in the barn for over 30 years. Nobody really knows anything about it. The guy I bought it from actually bought it for 25 the day before he sold it to me for 18. So I'm not sure why he got rid of it. It was a little sketchy, but yeah, he said he had too many projects, which is kind of weird because he just bought it. But it does turn over, I think. Yep. And it feels like it has pretty good compression. I have not hooked up a battery to it. I don't know if the starter works. I don't know if any of the lights work. The guy said he never checked for spark. He bought it, looked into it, and decided to get rid of it. That's all he told me. So he didn't know anything about it. I took off the badge here that was on it. And it's extremely hard to read. But I can see it says MT10 on it. So I believe the model is MT10. I looked that up, and those are 650cc with 36 horsepower. So I'm thinking that's the model. It does have the 2 seats with the little handle right there. That's pretty cool. Gas tank looked pretty clean on the inside. We'll take a closer look when we get this thing off the trailer. Here are the gauges on it. It says 34,147. I believe it's in kilometers. So I don't know what that would convert to. I'd have to do the math. Not sure what that thing is. It's got a bunch of lights here on the dash. The slides appear to be free in the carbs. But yeah, definitely a cool find. We're going to attempt to get this thing running today. But like I said, it's been sitting for 30 years, so we'll see what we can do. Let's try to get this thing off the trailer and start working on it. The guy said the rear brake was locked up, so it might be hard to roll. Alright, little walk around. Ha! Pretty cool looking bike. All right, got the beast in the garage here. Let's start tearing into it. So I think first thing we're gonna do is get the plugs out and get some oil sitting in the cylinders. Looks like we're running Champion plugs, I think on both sides. Nope, that's an NGK on that side. So like I said before, the guy who bought it, who sold it to me, said he never looked at any of it. So we don't know if there's spark. We don't know anything about this machine. So a little penetrating oil down there. Little Marvel Mystery with 2-stroke oil. Let's get that sitting. Alright, so here is the second plug coming out. Yeah, that was definitely taken off recently. So I wonder if the guy checked for spark and then just gave up. Plug doesn't look too bad. I'm really surprised everything's here. Nothing's really missing from the machine. A little bit of penetrating oil down there. And the Marvel Mystery. And we'll try to kick over this bike a little bit. Start, see if it's easy. Pretty smooth. Obviously with this bike, you're not gonna be able to find parts for it, so we're stuck with what we have. We have to make something work. So before we go kicking it over any harder, let's get this air box off. See what's living in there. Looks like it still has the straps on it. Alright, that pops off. Wow, that's an old filter on there. I think this whole thing can come off. Maybe. Might be a screw holding that on. Right down here. It's a little set screw. There we go. And then there's a hose connected to the back of that. Right down here. So it looks like it's filled with like fiberglass. But no mice, see that? It's like strands of fiberglass. So that actually looks good. We can leave that. Just gonna quick look down in here. See what that looks like. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Oil is right here. May as well check that. It's a pretty cool dipstick. Looks like newer oil. So it looks like somebody tried to get this thing running and maybe couldn't. Let's see what the level is. Yeah, up to the second line there. Unless somebody just dumped fresh oil in it before they sold it. But oil checks out. Looks good. Let's give this thing a kick. I'm not sure if you need a battery or not for spark, but let's just give it a kick and see if there's any spark. I'm sure you need a battery hooked up. Let's try turning this thing this way. Not sure where the on-off switch is or anything. So we're not getting any spark. Just want to check the boot here quick. Yeah, that wire is no good. See how rusty that is? We're gonna clip off a little bit of that. Now we've got that freshly exposed wire there. This goes back on. Looks clean in there. Put that back on. I'm guessing there's a point system on this bike somewhere. I've never worked on a bike like this, so I have no idea where that would be. Let's try kicking it over one more time. Alright, I'm just gonna mess with these switches up here. Nothing. This is a 12-volt system. So what we can try doing is hooking up a battery. If it's a point system, which more than likely it is, it's going to need a battery to run or produce spark. So you can see there's a bunch of fuses. We're going to quick check those with the continuity tester. Make sure all the fuses are good before we move on. I'm trying to find the main battery hookup here. It looks like this one's negative, that one goes to ground. And I'm guessing this is a normal grounded bike, not a positive ground. So I'm guessing just because the red wires, these don't look original though. So who knows. But you've got this big red one right here. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the positive going in. So that goes into here, up through the fuse. Here's the switch that you turn it on with. It's probably the kill switch. And then it flows into here, down through the green and white wire, which I have no idea where those go through. And then it looks like the red wire goes up through here as well, down to the green wire. So we're looking for a green and white wire. All right, we've got the continuity tester out. Let's just go to each fuse. We should hear a beep when we touch one end to the other. Not hear anything. So that's working. So apparently that fuse is not working. That one's working. Yeah, that first one doesn't seem to be working. That one's working. And that one's working. Let's see this one. Oh, that one is working. But we're not getting a good connection from this wire over to that wire. Maybe that's because we've got the off switch on. Nope. So let's see which way is off on this switch. Quick. So we've got one end going in, one going out. So that's the on position right there. This is the off position. So on will make a beep. Yep. So that's working. But we're not getting any contact from here to here, which is not good. The other ones seem to be fine. All right, we've got the jumper here. we're gonna do positive to the red wire going in. So hook that up. Trying to ground that to the frame. And then negative to the ground wire down here. And right now, it is on. So let's just see what happens when we hit the switch here. Let's see if we're getting any voltage to anything. To there. Yeah, we're not getting 12 volts up to here, so it's not spreading to the rest of the system. We gotta clean that off. So from here to here we're having issues, so let's take out that fuse if it will allow me to. And we're just gonna clean those up. Get a little corroded. I'll clean it off a little bit better. Snap that back into place. See if we're getting anything from this peg to that peg. And we are. So that fuse, we're going to be cleaning off as well. It's not making good contact, same as the other one. Alright, let's see if that's better. Alright, hook this up. Alright, we've got a light. There we go. Blinkers work. Horn. Nothing else is working. See what happens when we kick it over. I don't know what that thing does. Alright, so we took off the little cover over here, and I believe this is like a solenoid type thing for the electric start, because I believe the button right there is for electric start, because there is a starter on here, and it looks like it goes over to here. These wires go to the sidecar. So, looks like it has these little like point type things right here, little connections that need to be sanded down. Looks like those are really corroded. So let's try sanding those down, clean out those gaps in there, and we'll see if anything else lights up here. Alright, we're getting power to the solenoid, but I don't think the switch is working. So let's try to take a look at that. I don't know if this thing comes apart or not. Oh, it looks like it was already dug into at one point. Oh, that wire's broken out too. That gray wire. Looks like that goes into here. So there's a tiny little peg here the gray wire goes into. There we go. That works. Alright, now let's just shove right back up in there. Alright, that's back on. So now everything's hooked back up. So obviously something's not working. Alright, well, we can't get the headlight to work or the blinkers to work as of now. We're going to start working on the spark. Right now we don't have any spark, even with the jumper connected. So I think behind here we're going to find our point system. So let's try to peek behind here. Looks like there's a bolt. Single bolt that comes out. 14 millimeter. Let's see what's underneath here. I have no idea. Oh yeah. So we've got the points right in here. Looks like we've got a red wire going into the points from there. And it looks like our coil is up there. I can't get a better angle than that. What I can do is just see if we've got power going to the points. So we can hook up one wire to that red one going in right over here. Yep, 12 volts going to the points. Great. So I'm guessing the points are just dirty, which those look like they're hard to get to. Hopefully the condenser's still good, but we'll try cleaning off these points. You can see one's right there that opens up. So that just opens like that. Oh, but they kind of put this in a bad spot. Got our points file here. Let's try to stick that in there. See if we can make anything happen here. Alright, check this out. If I connect the points manually, see, that'll spark. So I think the points are still dirty. I tried cleaning them, but it's not working. So we're getting power, we're just not getting a good contact between the points to make that spark. Spark. All right, we're getting spark on that side. Check the other side. We've got spark. All right, so both cylinders have spark. So the points were cleaned, those are good to go. And it only has one set of points, which is really weird. So one set of points, and that leads up to the coil, and that coil distributes the spark evenly across both cylinders, depending on the timing. So that's pretty cool how that works. Gas tank, let's check that out. Oh man, that's pretty clean. That's not that bad. See if you can see the petcock down there. I think that's right there. Cool. Wow, that's amazing. We are going to do a quick compression test on both cylinders, and we're hoping that they have well over 100 pounds of compression. We need about 90 probably to start. All right, compression tester going in. If these have compression, we are in business. All right, we're hoping for above 95 here. Kick it over, see what we get. We can do throttle open on this. Blew off the compression gauge. That's a good sign. It was climbing. Try that again. Oh, we're stuck at 70. It's not going up past that. Oh boy. So 70 on that one. Not great. Just kind of suddenly stopped at 70. Almost like there's a decompression mechanism, but I don't think there is on this bike. Throttle open. We're at about 80 pounds of compression on that one. Huh, weird. It was climbing really good and all of a sudden it just stopped. Alright, we're gonna try dumping oil down the cylinder. If the compression goes up, we know it's rings. If the compression stays the same, it's most likely valves. Pour a bunch of oil down there. So this one was at 80, so if it goes up any more than that, it's gotta be rings. We're at 80. So it went up a little bit, but that was a weird compression reading. We're gonna check the valves. These valves look like here. You can see the push rods going from the engine to here. So we're going to try to get this thing to top dead center, and then we can adjust the valves from there. That's looking good. Alright, so top dead center. It's going to be when the piston is at the top of the cylinder. So let's see where we're at. Missed it there. There should be a timing mark on the flywheel too. Alright, you can see how the valves aren't opening. So we're 180 out. So let's go another revolution. Don't want to miss it either. It's coming. There. That one's moving. That one's moving. I'm not sure what the clearance should be, but we're just making sure that there is clearance. And there's plenty of clearance between the valve and the rocker. And same with this one. And that exhaust valve has more clearance, which is pretty typical. And the timing mark looks like that. You can see it says BML, it looks like. And then we can do the other side, make sure those are within spec. Yeah, we just want those to be open. So if these were tight right now, that would mean that the valves were never closing and they'd be releasing compression. See if we can get this cover off. Just making sure that the valves aren't tight here. There's oil dripping from this one. Lots of oil in there. Alright. Kind of a tough angle. But we're going to get this one to top dead center. Alright, right there. You can see both valves, you can hear that one's opening, that one's open, so both valves are closing completely. So that checks out on that side as well. Alright, so I just researched compression readings for this bike. And it looks like the compression ratio on this bike's pretty low. So compression doesn't have to be that high for it to run. A lot of guys are seeing 80 to 90 PSI. We saw 80 on the right cylinder and 70 on the left. And then jumped up to 80 when we put oil down the cylinder. So I'm guessing that side, the rings are a little stuck. I'm guessing this side is probably pretty good. The rings could be a little stuck on that side as well. But if we can get this thing running, I think those rings will free up just fine. But yeah, next step is fuel. We've got pretty decent compression. We've got spark. Now is fuel. So there's just 2 tiny carbs on this thing. It's amazing how small those are. So this boot comes off right here. Looks like somebody tried to get this bike running. This clamp was loose too. Yeah, that was pretty much off of it. Alright, get this slide off. Wonder if they have any carburetors on eBay for sale. I'm guessing that's a big no. I can get this hose off. That would be bad. Seems like everything's 14 millimeter on this bike. Let's see what kind of carbs these are. Coming off a little sticky. Don't know where that went to. There we go. That's what the carb looks like. Thing's heavy, really heavy. This is WAA3 on it. All right, so the top of the carb was actually loosened up when we first bought the bike, so these were loosened up. I'm hoping the float is still in there, but somebody had it off for some reason. Oh, darn. You can see the float is missing. That's not good. That is not what I wanted to see. So, I don't know if somebody tried to clean it out and then forgot to put it back in or what, but that's completely missing, so. Oh, not good. Alright, let's try to get that bolt off. Ooh. A little rusty. A little filter with a spring in there. Clean all that out. See how many turns out this one is. We're at 1. I think we're at 2. Here's another one. That is plugged up pretty good. Alright, what's underneath this one here? I think it's just the drain right here. Yeah, look at that. Bunch of old gas in there. I think there's a jet in there too. And right here. Let's see what this one is. I think we might need the ultrasonic cleaner for this one. Try to get that jet out. It's way deep in there. It's pretty plugged up too. So unfortunately the float is missing, but everything else is here, it looks like. That's working, the little primer. So we're gonna let this sit for a while in the ultrasonic cleaner. Maybe he put it in the toolkit here. A couple extra spark plugs. Did we see a float in here? That's pretty cool toolkit. Lots of good stuff in there. Points. Yeah, I'm not seeing a float. Darn. Alright, I know this thing opens up right here. Let's see if we can open it. Not wanting to go. See the seat. Alright, let's see what's in here. So, cover, got the seat there. What the heck are these things for? It's almost like armor. Huh. What would that be for? I don't know. Oh, what? Look at that. That's our missing float right there. Jeez, it's in rough shape though. Yeah, that's not good. What's in there? See if that still works. I know it would fill with gas, but at least it would be shutting it off, you know? It's like a weight in there. So I wonder if this still fits in there. New. It's all deformed. Alright, other carb is in the ultrasonic cleaner. Let's take a look at this one. Hopefully this one's not missing the float. Please be in there. Oh yeah, it's in there. Good. So that's what that's supposed to look like. So that one just got chomped. I don't know what the heck would have happened to that. So at least we've got one carburetor float. Yeah, pretty dirty. Not as bad as the other one though. You need to clean out that little jet. There's one right here. It's crusty in there. You can see the jet. I think we got it. It's crusty in there. There's that jet. So that's pretty much everything on this one. So we can let that sit in the ultrasonic cleaner, clean that out with compressed air and brake cleaner. We should be good. I'm just gonna take a little bit of light sandpaper, WD-40, clean up this needle. Just a little bit. Some old gas on it, same with the slide here. Alright, right side carburetor all cleaned up, ready to go. That sat in the ultrasonic cleaner for about 30 minutes. And that cleaned up everything. Alright, both carbs are back on the bike. Looking good. We're gonna leave the intake tube off until we can get this thing fired up. We might have to put some gas directly down the carbs to get this thing to fire. But before we do that, we want to get gas to the carbs, so the petcock has to work. And it's freed up, but I'm guessing this whole bowl right here is all clogged up. Yeah, that's crusty in there. You can see there's a little screen in there. It's all full of rust in there. That's what came out of there. Put that to the side. I think we can just get this whole thing twisted off, possibly. I don't want to break it. We might be able to just blow up into there and see if that's clear. Alright, here's that little screen that was in there. Lots of rust in there. Lots of rust in there too. Alright, let's see if any gas comes out of these lines. Apart. There we go. If we clog this one, gas comes out that one. If we clog that one, gas comes out that one. Cool. So gas is coming out. Petcock is working. Alright, got a filter and some gas line here. 6 feet of gas line. There we go, that one's on. Alright, gas lines are all set up. We got a couple new plugs for it. Let's get those in. So I went with the GK. Alright, we have somewhat compression. We have good spark. We've got battery hooked up now. We've got gas going to the carbs. Let's see if she fires up. So first thing we want to do is check and make sure that filter fills up. Gas is flowing in there. I'm guessing the carb's probably in a leak. It needs a rebuild. We'll see. Yeah, it's leaking a little bit. Alright, because the other carburetor doesn't have a float, we're going to manually put it down that carb so that we can shut it off whenever we want. Alright, gas is going to the carbs. Let's kick away and see if she fires up here. This would be the first start in over 30 years. No go. All right, we're kind of getting sporadic spark, but the good news is blinker came on. Neutral light came on as well. All right, I set the points gap a little bit smaller. We're getting pretty consistent spark. Let's see if it's enough. No go. All right, so it looks like we lost power to the coil. You guys watch this. So the red wire going from the coil right here should have positive going down to the points. I think that's why we're not getting spark. So as you can see, we're barely getting anything through that coil. On the other side of the coil going into the coil, we're getting 12 volts at the black wire. I'll switch these around. So positive is going in, grounded out to the engine, and we're getting 12 volts there. So power is going into the coil, it's not coming out the other side, as you can see. So it appears that we might have a problem with the coil. All right, we let this coil sit for a bit, turn the power back on. Let's just see if that made a difference here. No, nothing. So we're not getting any power out for some reason. We're going actually right to the wire too, and there's nothing in there coming out. All right, we just disconnected the red wire coming from the points, and it looks like that was grounding out the coil, because now look, we're getting 12 volts here at this peg coming out of the coil. 12 volts. So that was grounding out the system. So something's going on with the points. So what we're gonna do is try to take those off. It looks like the ignition timing's way off too. You can see it's all the way out to the end there on both these pegs. Look at that, it should be, usually it's right in the middle. And this whole plate come off. One more screw right down here. What the heck is grounding out? Oh. There we go. put that back together before I forget how that goes on. Alright, so check that out. That is not looking good right there. That is interesting. And then this is holding the condenser in place. I don't see anything grounding out though. I think that plate is grounding out right there to the point. See that? See that plate? So what we're gonna do is take that off. I think there should have been like a washer there holding that in place. Plate out and bend it back. See how bent that is? Somebody bent that. That's why it was coming out. I don't know how the heck that would have happened. There. Back to normal. Try to get that back in. Alright. Let's see if we're grounding out now. There we go. Alright, we're not. Alright, so you can touch any place over here. Not grounding out at all. Alright, we've got good spark again. Let's try this one more time. Fired up. I cannot believe it. Oh. First time in 30 years. Carb is just leaking like crazy. I saw some flames out of the exhaust and I'm like, I don't want this thing to start on fire, so we shut it off right away. But it was running good. I actually set the ignition timing to be more in the middle. Before it was down here, so all the way advanced, I believe. So I set it to the middle, where it's supposed to be, and it didn't take long to fire up. We put some gas down the carbs directly, and that seemed to do the trick. So we're gonna put some more gas on that carb, clean all the gas off the floor, and try this again, see if it fires back up. I thought I was gonna idle there. I saw a spark, so I think we're gonna be done for the day. But the goal was to get this thing running, and we did that. I cannot believe it. So I was leaking gas everywhere. The petcock, the carb, the other carb. I seen oil leak developing right there. So it's gonna need a lot of work to get it to be drivable, but first step, we got it running, is accomplished, which is crazy. So next video, we're gonna try to get this thing to be rideable. We'll take Vin for a little spin. But hope you guys enjoyed picking this thing up for 1,800 bucks, going through the whole thing, and then finally getting this thing to start up. Took forever, but we finally got it going. We'll have to mess with the ignition timing some more, the points gap a little bit more, and then fine tune this thing. Obviously we need some parts for the carburetor to stop the leaking, just stuff like that. So hopefully parts are available. I thought for sure that coil was burnt out, but it ended up just being a short in the system, which was really lucky, because a coil for this thing is hard to find. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.